They used to pass me on the streets like I was invisible. They would cross to the other side, whispering curses behind my back, but never to my face. I was the short man with tall walls around my heart. Tax collector, a traitor, they said. But none of them knew what I really carried inside. The weight of gold that could never buy respect or forgiveness. Every day I climbed the steps to my counting room. Silver coins in piles, debts recorded, families broken by my greed. They say money is cold, but mine burned my hands every night. No one looked at me as a man. I was just a thief with permission from Rome. My own people despised me. I despised myself more. I used to sit alone in the dark, counting every coin twice. I could buy the best wine, the finest meat, but the taste turned to ash in my mouth. No one came to visit. No one knocked on my door unless they wanted something, or unless they came with knives in their eyes. They never saw the boy I was. A boy who only wanted his father to look at him with pride. But I learned early, if you can't be loved, be feared. If you can't belong, buy your place at the table. That table was empty for years. Then I heard rumors. A man, a teacher, was passing through Jericho. They said he healed blind men, ate with sinners, spoke of forgiveness like it was water pouring from a broken jar. I didn't believe it. Forgiveness was for men who had done less. Not for me. But curiosity is louder than shame sometimes. I went to see him. I told myself I just wanted to look like any other beggar of hope. But when I reached the crowd, I saw the backs of hundreds of heads, tall shoulders, elbows pushing me away. I was too small to see anything. My wealth meant nothing there. I pushed and begged for space. No one moved. They hated me so much, they would rather break my ribs than let me catch a glimpse of hope. So I ran. I ran like a child through the dust, heart pounding. I saw the sycamore tree ahead, wide branches, low enough to climb. I hadn't climbed a tree since I was a boy. But that day, I climbed like my life depended on it. Maybe it did. I perched there, hidden among leaves and shadows. From up there I saw him. The teacher. He was smaller than I expected, but his presence filled the road. People pressed around him, reaching, shouting, some weeping at his feet. I thought he'd pass beneath me, like everyone else passed me by. That would have been enough. To see him once. Maybe I'd believe the rumors then. Maybe I'd climb down, return to my counting room, coins clinking like chains around my neck. But he didn't pass by. He stopped. Right below my hiding place. The crowd fell silent like someone had sucked the air from the world. He lifted his head. And for the first time in years, someone looked right at me. His eyes didn't flinch. No disgust. No hate. No anger. Just knowing. I felt stripped bare, like every secret sin I'd ever committed was hanging on branches around me. Yet he didn't look away. He smiled, a smile like dawn breaking. Then he spoke. Not to the crowd. Not to the priests. To me. He said my name, Zacchaeus. My heart stumbled in my chest. When was the last time anyone said my name without spitting it? When was the last time my name sounded clean? He said, "Yes, come down. I must stay at your house today." I thought I misheard. Stay? With me? A man who bought his friends with Roman silver? The one no rabbi would dare be seen with? Yet he insisted. The crowd grumbled like a nest of snakes. I heard their venom. He's gone to be the guest of a sinner. Yes, I was a sinner. Worse than that. But when my feet hit the ground, I felt lighter than any gold I'd ever held. He walked beside me through the same streets where people spat at me. He ignored their stares. He looked at me, only me, as if I were worth crossing the road for. As if I were worth dying for. I didn't understand that yet. In my house, the oil lamps seemed brighter. The walls felt less like a prison. He sat at my table, my cursed, empty table, and spoke words that tasted sweeter than wine. He didn't condemn me. He didn't threaten me. He invited me to see myself. For the first time, the weight of every coin pressed on my soul like a mountain. The families I robbed. The children I turned away. I saw their faces in the flicker of the lamp. My eyes burned with tears I didn't know I still had. I stood trembling before him. My words came out broken. Look, here and now, I give half my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anyone, I will pay back 4 times the amount. It felt like ripping flesh from bone, letting go of the silver, the power, the safety. But it also felt like breathing for the first time in years. He watched me nodding, not surprised, as if he knew this was what my soul longed for. He said, "Today salvation has come to this house." Those words carved my heart open. Not tomorrow. Not after I proved myself. Today. He called me a son of Abraham, as if I had never betrayed my people, my God, or myself. When he left, the coins no longer clinked like chains. They felt like seeds, to be scattered, to grow new life for others. My house was never empty again. My table was full of bread broken with those who used to curse me. But sometimes, at night, I remember that tree. That moment when he said my name. I think if he hadn't stopped, I would have died rich and alone, buried under coins, invisible to the world and to God. Now I walk the streets I once stalked like a predator. I see the poor, the blind, the broken. I see them because he saw me. I say their names too, like he said mine. I speak forgiveness where I once demanded payment. I am still short. I am still a man who carries a past. But now I stand taller than I ever did on that branch. Not because of gold, but because of grace. Not because of fear, but because of mercy. Sometimes they still whisper when I pass. There goes Zacchaeus, the traitor turned friend. Let them whisper. My ears are tuned to another voice now, the one who said my name when no one else would. If you think you're unseen, know this: he sees you. If you think your name is too stained to be spoken by holy lips, remember mine. Zacchaeus. He spoke it. He will speak yours too. Silver will rust. Power will crumble. But his words remain. His eyes remain. His mercy remains. For thieves. For traitors. For men hiding in trees. I was Zacchaeus. I was hated, forgotten, lost in the branches of my shame. But he looked up. He called me down. He made my table a place of peace. No one looked at me until he said my name. And now, I can never be invisible again. I remember that first night after he left my house. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every word he spoke. The silence felt different, not empty anymore, but full of a promise I didn't yet understand. I wondered if the people would accept me now. If they would see me as changed. But the next morning, the stairs were the same, cold, suspicious. Redemption is not always obvious to human eyes. But I knew he saw it. That was enough. I went to the homes of those I'd cheated. Knocked on doors I'd once broken into with taxes and threats. Some slammed the door in my face. Some opened it wide, weeping when I placed the coins in their hands. Every repayment felt like shedding old skin. Every coin I gave back was a piece of the prison walls crumbling. Some days, I feared I'd have nothing left. But strangely, I felt richer than ever. Word spread through Jericho that Zacchaeus was giving it all away. They said I'd gone mad. Maybe I had mad with the taste of mercy. Mad with the hunger for something no Roman tax could ever provide. At night, I still climbed the sycamore tree. Not to hide this time, but to remember. From that branch, I watched the stars and whispered his name. The wind in the leaves felt like his voice calling mine again and again. I wondered what he saw in me. Others saw a thief. A traitor. A man so small he had to climb trees to glimpse salvation. But he saw a son. Not by blood, but by grace. Sometimes I think back to my childhood. The first coin I ever stole. The first lie I ever told. Each small betrayal building walls around my heart, brick by brick. Until that day, when he tore them down with one word, Zacchaeus. I met others who knew him. The blind beggar, Bartimaeus, whose eyes were opened outside Jericho. Mary, who wept at his feet. We all had the same story. We were unseen, unwanted, until he called our names. One day, news came that he was dead, crucified outside Jerusalem like a criminal. My knees buckled when I heard it. How could the only good man I'd ever met die like that? How could he who saw me be gone? For days I wandered the streets, dazed. The silver I'd returned felt useless now. What good was paying back when the one who forgave me was buried behind a stone? But then I heard another rumor, wilder than any before. They said the stone was rolled away, that he was alive, that he walked among his friends again, wounds in his hands like trophies of a battle won. Hope cracked open my chest like sunrise breaking through a prison window. If death couldn't hold him, then maybe my shame truly couldn't either. Maybe my story wasn't just about coins and trees, but about resurrection. I never saw him again with these eyes, but I felt him. Every time I spoke my name with forgiveness instead of fear. Every time I welcomed a stranger to my table. He was there, unseen but closer than breath. People came to Jericho to hear my story, to see the place where the teachers stopped under the sycamore. They asked, "What did he say to you?" And I told them, not just his words, but how they made me feel, known, wanted, knew. I taught my children to climb trees, not to hide, but to see the world differently, to look for the ones no one else would see, to say their names like he said mine. Some nights, the old ghosts come back, the echo of coins in my dreams, the faces of those I hurt. But his voice is louder, the one that said, "Zacchaeus, come down." And so I do again and again. I keep the first coin I ever stole. I keep it on my table as a reminder, silver can't buy peace. Only surrender can. And I surrendered that day in front of the whole city, when my feet touched the ground. If I could climb that tree again, I would do it for every man who thinks he's too far gone. I'd shout from the branches, "He sees you. He knows your name. He's coming for you too." Sometimes I wonder how he knew me, how he saw my face through the leaves, through the dirt of my sins. But then I remember, he sees what no one else will. That is why he came. I am Zacchaeus. I am every hidden man, every ashamed woman, every child afraid to be seen. I am you. And you are me if you want to be found. When the world turns away, remember my story. When your past weighs more than your future, remember the tree. Remember the voice, the name, the mercy. They built temples and altars, but my greatest altar was a branch over a dusty road, where God looked up instead of down, where he spoke instead of condemning, where he chose me. People still mock my name. Zacchaeus, the tax man turned saint. They don't know the half of it. I'm no saint, just a man who knows what it's like to be seen by the only eyes that matter. Sometimes I visit that sycamore. Its roots are deeper now, branches wider. Children climb it like I did. They don't know they're climbing my altar. I smile. I pray they find what I found, a name spoken in love. The coins are gone. The table is worn, but the story lives, passed from father to son, mother to daughter. He sees you. That is all we need to tell each other. He sees you. If you listen in the quiet, you might hear it too. The rustle of leaves, the footsteps of grace, the whisper of your name carried on the wind, as if he's saying, "Come down. I'm coming to your house today." Don't wait. Don't hide behind your branches of excuses, of pride, of shame. Climb down. Let him in. Open the door to your brokenness, and watch what he builds from it. I was Zacchaeus, small in stature, smaller in soul. But now I stand tall in his mercy. I'm not my past. I am his promise. So when you ask who I am, remember this. No one looked at me until he said my name. And now, he's speaking yours.